Imagine this. A company party meant for bonding turns into a nightmare for one employee. Marcus, a hardworking and respected team member, finds himself targeted by a group of colleagues who let their true colors show. What starts as subtle jabs quickly escalates into something much worse. But here's the twist. Marcus doesn't react the way anyone expects. Instead of fighting fire with fire, he does something so unexpected, so jaw-dropping, that it leaves everyone in the room speechless. This is a story about resilience, dignity, and how one act can turn the tables in the most surprising way. Stay tuned to find out how Marcus not only silenced his bullies, but also inspired everyone watching. You won't believe what happens next. Marcus had always been the quiet type, friendly, dependable, and focused on his work. He didn't ask for much, and most people seemed to respect him. But at this party, something was different. It started with a few offhand jokes, subtle enough to pass off as harmless. Then, as the drinks flowed, the jokes turned sharper, louder, and more pointed. The room seemed to close in as a few co-workers took turns mocking Marcus, their laughter echoing louder than the music. He kept his composure, though anyone watching could see the discomfort in his eyes. Others at the party shifted uncomfortably but stayed silent, afraid to intervene. It was clear this wasn't about humor. It was about power. Yet Marcus didn't lash out or walk away. Instead, he did something that no one saw coming. The room grew quieter as everyone started to realize something unusual was about to unfold. As the tension in the room grew, Marcus stood still, his calm demeanor catching people off guard. The bullies exchanged smirks, clearly enjoying the attention. One of them, a senior employee known for stirring trouble, made a sarcastic comment about Marcus's background, drawing another round of laughter. But Marcus didn't flinch. Instead, he picked up his glass, looked around the room, and began to speak. His voice was steady, yet it carried a weight that demanded attention. He didn't raise his tone or lash out. Instead, he started sharing a story, his story. He spoke about the challenges he had faced in his life, the strength it took to overcome them, and the values that shaped him. Slowly, the energy in the room shifted. Some guests lowered their eyes, while others leaned in, captivated. The bullies tried to interrupt, but Marcus's calm persistence held the floor. What happened next would leave everyone stunned. As Marcus continued, the room fell into an uneasy silence. He wasn't just telling a story, he was peeling back layers, exposing truths that no one could ignore. He talked about the silent battles people face every day, the assumptions others make without knowing the full picture. His words weren't just about himself, they seemed to reflect something deeper in everyone listening. The bullies, who had been so bold just moments ago, began to look uncomfortable. Their smirks faded, replaced by fidgeting and nervous glances. Yet, Marcus didn't stop. His calm confidence turned the spotlight on them in a way they hadn't expected. Guests who had been passive observers now started to shift their stance. A few even began whispering among themselves, their eyes filled with a mix of shame and curiosity. Then, just as Marcus reached the heart of his message, he did something that made everyone hold their breath. All eyes were on him, waiting to see what he would do next. Marcus paused, letting the weight of his words hang in the air. The tension was thick, and it felt like everyone was holding their breath. Then, in a move that no one could have predicted, Marcus turned to the very people who had been mocking him. Instead of calling them out or confronting them directly, he asked a simple question: why? The question wasn't angry or accusatory, it was honest. The bullies froze, caught completely off guard. One of them, clearly uncomfortable, tried to brush it off with a weak laugh, but Marcus stayed calm. "We're supposed to be a team," he continued, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "So why does it feel like we're tearing each other down instead of lifting each other up?" The room grew even quieter. But before anyone could respond, someone else spoke up, a voice from the back of the crowd. It was an unexpected ally, and what they said changed everything. From the back of the room, a manager who had been silently watching stepped forward. Marcus is right, she said, her voice firm but calm. This isn't who we are supposed to be. Her words carried authority, and the room turned to her. What just happened here tonight isn't just about Marcus, it's about all of us. We've let this behavior slide for too long. Her unexpected intervention left the bullies stunned. They shifted uncomfortably, realizing the power dynamics had shifted. Marcus stood quietly, his expression unreadable. Then one of the bullies, clearly overwhelmed, broke the silence. I didn't mean for it to go this far, they stammered, that tone far from the confidence they'd shown earlier. But before anyone could react, Marcus did something no one anticipated. He extended his hand toward the bully. Let's make this right, he said simply, offering not just forgiveness, but a challenge to do better. The room erupted into applause, not for the bullies, but for Marcus's incredible strength and grace. It wasn't just a resolution, it was a lesson no one would forget. The applause slowly died down, but the impact of what had just happened lingered in the air. Marcus's act of forgiveness wasn't just about moving past the moment, it was a call for everyone to reflect on how they treated others. The bully hesitated for a second before shaking Marcus's hand, their expression a mix of guilt and relief. As the party continued, the energy in the room shifted. People approached Marcus, some offering apologies, others just wanting to thank him for speaking up. The manager, impressed by his courage, promised to address the culture in the workplace, ensuring that respect and kindness became priorities moving forward. By the end of the night, Marcus had left an indelible mark, not just on the bullies, but on everyone who witnessed his quiet strength. Walking out of the party, he felt lighter, knowing he had turned a painful moment into a powerful message of unity and change.